Good afternoon or good morning. Gosh, it's still morning.
It is still morning.
Been up for a while. But we're broadcasting live, Ready Row USA from the US Rowing Convention in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And I'm here with Emelie Eldracher.
Yes.
I did it.
Got it. Perfect.
I'm meeting a lot of new people and with different names. And I've tried and practice a little bit before we get on. But Emelie is a elite coxswain for Para HP program, US Rowing, right?
US Rowing.
Did I say that right? And so tell us a little bit about your rowing story. I know I haven't had a whole lot of time to get to know your background, but maybe you can give us some highlights.
Well, how we started coxing was I went to high school and you had to do a sports program, and my mom said, okay, you've competed in martial arts, gymnastics forever, time to join a team sport. Mm-hmm. I said, all right, I'll golf. And she was like, no, I don't think you get it. That's not a team sport. And so somehow we found ourselves rowing.
Yes.
And that was in Andover, Massachusetts. So I've been in Boston
Andover.
my whole life.
Okay.
Andover, Philipsy had me. And how I got involved with the PR program is in 2019. I was working with Riverside U23s, and I was at Canadian Henley. And the para team had 3-4s that were going out and racing, and they needed a coxswain, and I had the opportunity to hop in a boat with people. We had 2 practices, and we were going up. I was in the middle lane. We had the 4 that was going to Worlds in 2 weeks on one side.
So this was at Canadian Henley?
This is Canadian Henley.
And what water is that?
This is in St. Catharines.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So
yeah.
is it, what is there a river or a waterway?
I want to say it's a lake.
No, go ahead.
I want to say it's a lake. I'm going to pretend I know it's a lake.
So you were there.
So yeah, and so I hadn't been very involved with the pair program yet.
Yeah.
But to hop in a boat where you have these world's athletes on one side, in the 4 that they're going to be competing in, on the other side, we had a composite 4 of the 2 pairs that were also going to the World Championships. Mm-hmm. And then we were a composite boat of para athletes that were there and just interested in racing. And we had no expectations. And to go down the course against these world's athletes, we ended up having one of the most fun races I've ever had. Yeah. And so that was the inception to getting involved with the para program. And after that, I just couldn't leave. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they are the most inspiring people, that I do a little volunteering with the para program.
Very, very
cool.
It
helps connect the different communities. It's like great. So go ahead.
And everyone has a different story about how they got involved with rowing, how we found the sport, and what's been really exciting about working with para. The part that I love about it is that I believe my boat and every athlete shows that rowing is for anyone at any time. And that's one of the coolest things that I found over my time.
Yeah. And do you also row, or?
I have rowed. So I saw that you got to speak with Mary Whipple this weekend.
Yes.
And Mary Whipple runs a camp, the 9th seat. Yeah. And she has every coxswain who goes to this camp rows in every seat of an 8. So I can now claim that I've rowed every seat in an 8.
Awesome. Yes, she talked about that,
yes.
how you need to understand rowing as well if you're a coxswain.
Absolutely. Yeah. And truly, I think that if we can do erg workouts with our team, if we can understand our own challenges, so when I get tired, what am I going to do? That helps when we're in the third 500 of a 2K.
Yeah.
What are my athletes going to do? What do I have to remember? Because if you haven't felt that pain before, I think, at least for me, it's a little hard to cox.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
So I'll give your readers a little bit of the tea. I'm trying to work my 2K from a 10:33 to break that 10-minute mark. That's the goal.
Good for you. Good for you. Do you have an indoor rower too? Or?
Well, luckily, so I'm a graduate student at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Oh, really?
And so I am
That's MIT.
That is MIT. So I'm lucky enough to still be on the team. So I have access to ergs at all times.
You weren't on the boats when they spilled into the river, were you?
Oh, I must admit.
That made the news in Boston.
I was not in the men's boats when they did that my freshman year, but I was lucky enough to be able to do that last year.
Really?
We copied the men's team.
Yeah.
we were racing on a day in the powerhouse stretch on the
Yeah.
Charles for anyone who's raced had the Charles.
It's a straight stretch between two bridges. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
and it was calm water, it was perfect water, but then coming back in, getting from that calm water to our boathouse became a bit of a challenge, and the waves were just rolling, and they
Wow.
decided to roll straight into the boat.
That's amazing. I mean, was everybody safe?
Everyone was safe.
Was it warm enough to?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was the week before our championships, so
Yeah.
a bit comical, but everyone was safe. It was warm.
Well, yeah. I mean, now you have that experience. You know
Yes.
what it takes to panate.
Yes, or
Yeah.
synconate.
Synconate. Did they fish it out of?
Luckily, luckily, the boat, even though it was full of water, it ended
Yeah.
up tipping over and then emptying itself out. So
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
the boat did its own thing, and
Okay.
we got it back.
What else would you like to talk about your rowing story? You know, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to besides Ellen Minster, of course?
Well, Ellen, of course, the legend of Ellen,
Yes.
she's changed my life in
Yeah.
every way. I would also like to say to Nick Kermikov, he was my U23 coach at Riverside, and he was incredible, and he also changed my life. And the thing that I think is really exciting is that we're getting more people to know what PR categories mean.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the last things I'd want to leave with anyone listening is that PR1 is going to be athletes that are using their arms, PR2
Okay. Yeah. That's good to know.
arms and back, and PR3 is the boat that I was with.
So PR3 is the least disabled, or
Yeah, so PR3, those athletes are going to have full range of movements,
okay, yeah,
legs,
right.
arms, and
So
body.
Danny Hansen would be a PR3. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes, Danny, absolutely.
She came by at the head of the Charles, where I think you also coxed, right?
Yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that experience.
So I was lucky enough to be able to race with my PR3-4 at Head of Charles, along with a grade 8. So we pulled together multiple PR3-4 athletes, PR3 athletes. So we had USA represented, Australia, and Canada,
Yeah.
and then the Ukrainian women's 8. I had the honor of getting to cox the Ukrainian women's 8 in the Champ 8
Yeah.
division.
Did you get to know them a little bit?
A little bit, and
Yeah.
they were very kind, because we realized the first day when we went out that we needed to come up with a way of communicating that was
Sure,
going to be
yeah.
helpful to everyone.
Well, Elena has pretty good English.
Yes,
but
yes.
yeah,
and many
she's
people.
not in every scene.
Yes, and things that become intuitive to your
Yeah.
coxing language aren't necessarily intuitive to everyone, and that goes for any boat,
Sure,
regardless of language. And so it was, how do we come up with the best words? So it was, instead of way enough, we use stop.
Yeah.
And instead of port or starboard, we use leve and preve, which are the
Those
Ukrainian
Ukrainian
words. Yes. So
that's
coming
amazing.
around bridges, it was like, all right, I'm gonna need one side to press, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that side in
Leve.
Ukrainian. Yeah.
Levy,
Yes.
oh God, fast or something. Levy hard.
Yeah. So maximum was the word we used.
Maximum, good, yeah. Well, they were in like Elena, so just a tall, solidly built person. She was amazing, powerful.
But very, very kind. And
Yeah,
welcoming.
very kind. Yeah. Tell me, just as we wrap up, how do you feel? Like regattas, are we getting more PRs, para representation, and are they being? Like, would you like to see them integrated into the, instead of like stuck at the end of the day and things like that? I mean, do you have a thought about that?
Well, I think there are several questions wrapped up in that one,
Yeah.
which is very cool. I think number one, the more athletes that we can reach to and tell anyone that they can row is great. So
Yeah.
if we can build out the PR1, the PR2, the PR3 categories at these races with athletes, that's going to make everyone faster and have more fun, because
Yeah.
everyone wants to go out and race. And so Ellen was speaking a little bit this weekend about how do we lower the barrier of entry for PR1s and PR2s, because you have a different boat. And so first step is make people aware about these programs and get people in the water so that they can have the most fun possible. Then on top of that, I think in terms of scheduling races and how that fits into the schedule, I think that there are experts who can give you an even better
Yeah.
opinion, but I think that the first step is get as many people out on the water to have as much fun
That's
as
true,
possible.
yeah, and get other types of rowers understanding and being aware of the program, the para programs that are out there.
Because
You know.
just, yeah.
You know, awareness is good. But yeah, and any other thoughts? Or you need to get on with your day, or
I think if anyone out there knows of a para-athlete who wants to get involved in a sport, again, I'll stick to what I've been saying. Rowing is for anyone at any
Yeah.
time. And let's get everyone, regardless of para-classification, non-para-classification, out on the water. And I think that's been a theme of the weekend. I'm sure a lot of your other speakers have been saying something similar.
yeah, it's kind of it's a overriding theme, I think. So that hopefully it will filter out into as people go home and carry out their activities. Well, thank you so much, Emelie.
Thank you for
I really
having me,
appreciate
Charlotte.
it. I know it was a little bit last minute, but I'm glad we got you in, and let's continue the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
All right, take care.
You as well.
Next, we're having Calvin Coffee at 10:15, so stay tuned. I keep forgetting where my camera is. I moved it over there so you could see the guests a little bit better. But thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll talk to you and hear from you soon. Thank you.